Alright, Beyond the Blue RC. I meant to film this from the beginning, but I kind of got excited and just started getting into it. But I'm not going to do a full tutorial on this build that I'm doing, but upgrades, whatever you want to call it. But I'm upgrading all of the arms on my E-Revo 2.0 to the blue heavy-duty arms. Alright, now I'm doing the front, and I'm in the process of doing the right side, which is, of course, 8631X. And the left side is 8632X. So yeah, they're different. I'm glad I checked that when I was ordering them. They're not left and right side are not compatible. So anyway, I'm also got this thing kind of apart, but you obviously got it. Oh, before I forget, also upgrading the steering assembly to the hot racing blue aluminum one, and also doing these as well. Your hubs here. That's the part number. You need 2 sets of these. The other set I got's over there with my tools. But yep, doing that too. So this thing's all apart. So obviously you gotta take off the stock ones, which I wouldn't. Well, you have to do that anyway because I'm changing the arms out. But so you have to take those off. Pull the drive shafts out. Take your skid plates off. I obviously have the aluminum ones, but it really doesn't matter. Plastic aluminum, you gotta take those off. And you gotta take this plate off the front. Right here is one screw holding that on there. And you gotta take these. There is 2 screws holding this in. And then 1 screw holding this body mount. And then you can get to your pins. Start pulling them out. I'm trying to not take this fully apart if possible. Just gotta get a hold of the pin. Go, and just pull it out like so. And then that will release the arm. And of course, I just dropped some stuff, but these plastic spacers just fell. But I see what it is. But yep. Then you pull the other pin, doing one side at a time. Oh, they're smaller. That's interesting. Let's put that over there. Which means I'm probably going to have to... I'm going to install the top arm first, and then we'll mess with the bottom, since they're 2 separate pins, I think. Alright, well, it looks like when I got my E-Revo, they'd already started putting the heavy-duty arms on there, because these are basically... they're the same thing. Just... I could have sworn they weren't putting the heavy-duty ones on these in the beginning. I must have gotten this just as they were transitioning over to heavy-duty. I don't know. I don't know. Is this like... or maybe they've always had the heavy-duty arms on the 2.0. I never really noticed. Never really needed to change these out because I just wanted to go with blue. And the discontinuing, or they have discontinued the E-Revo 2.0, so I bought a bunch of parts so that I could do the things that I've been wanting to do and just haven't gotten around to it. To this truck, because yeah, Traxxas discontinued it, so some of the parts you may not be able to get anymore. So if you have an E-Revo 2.0 and you want to do some stuff to it, A-Man Habage is selling some stuff on clearance. You might want to get those parts. So yeah, whatever. What are you gonna do? Yeah. Alright, I flipped it upside down, flip the car upside down. It's easier to get those spacers in there. There's two in the front, and then there's two right there. And I just found it easier to flip it upside down. I can hold the... These weren't bad. These weren't too bad to put in. These are a little bit more of a pain, so I just came from the bottom, just held them one at a time, and just slowly slid the rod in. And now the that side's done. I'm going to do the other side off camera. I'm just going to get that in, and then we're going to get into the bottom arms and replacing that steering assembly. Good times. Oh yeah. Alright, so I got the other side in. It's a little fiddly, just got to kind of fiddle with it. Got those spacers in, got those spacers in, and the pin is back in. So the top arms are done. Now on to the bottom arms, and I'm going to change this bad boy out too. So, alright, remove these two screws. Well, they're not totally removed, but take this brace off. Put it back there. And this should kind of come off. Should. Yep, there we go. And I gotta take these off and then take these screws out because I need that bearing and that screw as well, I believe. I need both bearings. Alright, let's do that next. Alright, so finally got this together. I did have to shave these rod ends because they did not fit in here. They do now. But they, yeah, there was not enough clearance for them to move like they're supposed to, so I had to shave these all the way around, both sides. So, yep, but I mean, it's good to go now. And then I did have to remove these screws and then pull this out so I could get this in here because it's just too much of a pain to try to do it with those already in there. So I had to pull them out, and then once these rods were out, then I could slip these in quite easily. Loctite, obviously Loctite this screw, and obviously Loctite. You want to Loctite that screw and that screw that goes in here where you can't really see, but yep, you want to do that. The steering is kind of off because, there we go. There we go, now you can see it, but anyway. Okay, so I have this screw in here temporarily just to kind of seat everything. But now I'm going to start putting the arms on, the lower arms. So these should be fairly easy, I would think. So you got a pin in the back and a pin in the front. Maybe I should go put it partially in. That, there we go. That's how you do it. Then up here, this should go easier. There's nothing in my way up here. Like that. And then the other side will be the same thing. Other side will be the same thing. Rear. Let's take that out a little bit. Then we'll slip it in like that. Then slip in the front. There we go. That's all together. Now I got to start putting this all back together, which I'm not going to show on camera because it's just a matter of just putting everything back the way I took it apart. And actually, I think this was supposed to go in. I might be able to put this in now. I don't know. We'll see if I can slip it down in there. I was supposed to put this in before I put the... This is supposed to go in before before I put the arms on, I think. Because this goes, well, I think it's supposed to go underneath. Yeah, it's supposed to go underneath. Okay, so yes, definitely that had to go on. Because these pins rest on this brace, and it's also it's for the there's little stoppers on each side to kind of keep the servos from going too far. I don't know if you can really, I mean, you can't really, yeah, there it is. It's right there's a little tab right there where my finger is. There's one on each side. So, and I just got to tighten in this screw right here real quick. We'll tighten that up. I already put the brace on, which secures my pins. It just slides over the pins and then slides into these little plastic slots. There we go. And that's all on there. Now I can flip it over and put the rest of it, well, yeah, I should wait. I'm not going to put the skid plate on yet, I don't think. I don't know. Alright, so I got the front back together. Got those two screwed in. Those two screws screwed in. That screw screwed into that bracket down there. And a bumper back on. Got my push rods installed. So, we're getting there. We are getting there. Alright, got my skid plate back on. Yep, everything's back installed. Now I gotta flip it over and start getting into these bearing hubs here. So I got hot racing ones, aluminum ones that I'm going to install over here. We'll get these out of the bag and we'll go from there. I was going to film this, but it was a bit tedious and I didn't film it, but they are on there now. And screwing those, whatever you call them, retainers that hold the pivot balls in. Man, they don't want to go in very, they're hard to go in. I think it was that one. That was hard to go in. And that one was a bear to go in. But they need to be in a certain amount. That one went in fine. But you want to have a little bit of, you can hear that. You have a little bit of play, so you don't want it to bind. So you kind of do that. Spring back. But you don't want, before I screwed that in more, it was way too loose. And you don't want that either. Same thing here. I want it to kind of bounce back. A little bit of play. But, yep, those are in. I did purchase some new seals. Oh, here they are. Purchased some new seals. 5378X. It's a seal kit. All you're going to need is these right here. You got 4 of those, and then 4 of those blue retention brackets, whatever you call them. Oh, I forget what you call them. What do you call them? What does it say? It just says blue notch dust boot retainer. So I guess you get a black one. and a blue one. I use the blue ones. They seem to... I didn't even try the black ones. But, I mean, this is the direct... This is going to do stock axle carriers, but... Yeah, the blue ones work. I didn't even try the black ones, actually, but... They're... I want to say they're thinner. Yeah. Don't know if those would work or not. I didn't even try. But yeah, the blue ones work just fine. So it looks pretty good. It's all buttoned up. Now I've got to do the rear. That'll be fun. Hopefully it's not as eventful as this front end was. It shouldn't be, but never say never. Well, looking good so far anyway. Now I'm on to the rear arms here. And yeah, so we've got blue rear left and blue rear right, 8633X. I think I read this part number. 8634X for the rear left. Yep, that's what we're going to get into next. So I'm going to take those out with this tool. These just kind of unscrew like that, not too difficult. And those come right out like that. So I gotta take those off. Then I'll take my caster blocks off. Bearing retainers, whatever you want to call these things. There you go. Tearing it down is the easy part. Got my drill, so I'm gonna take those out with my drill. Let's see. Bearing carriers. I guess that's what they call them. But yep, gotta install these next too. But we'll get the arms on first. But first we gotta tear this thing down and get the stuff off it. So yep. So then I believe it's this size right here. And these just unscrew. There we go. Like that, and they just unscrew. My drill's charging right now, but this is the easy part actually. It's putting them into the new You know what? I unscrewed that a little too fast there. But kind of want to screw a little bit at a time. There we go. Do a little bit. And do a little bit on this side. Try not to round these pivot balls because I'm going to reuse them. Alright. it out. Use the drill for the other side, just showing you how easy this is. And pops right out. And then I'm going to re-lube up my drive shafts and all that. But yep, start tearing this thing down. Alright, so I figured out what screws I got to take out. Got to take out that one there, that one down there, obviously that one in there, and then this one right here, and then of course these two right here. And then to get to that one, you gotta just unscrew these screws here, both of them, that one and that one, and then I screwed them back down once I was done, but just so my shocks didn't move. You should screw them to this, and then this will shift out of the way. That brace will shift out of the way, and then you can get to that screw. And then once you do that, this will all slide right out. Just like that. Nope. Oops. Then I have access to my pins and pop in those new arms here real quick. Alright, I got the arms on. Just have to remove this piece here. This piece right here just pops right off. Of course now I can't get it to pop off. But now it's giving me difficulty. Why are you giving me difficulty? Well, anyway, that plastic piece pops off. And you just take that screw out, and then you pull your pins, and you put your arms in. So that's not too bad. It's kind of a pain getting the pins back in here. They just were tight. That takes some finagling again, but got it done. Alright, finally finished. I haven't tightened the wheel nuts all the way down yet, because I just want to pull the wheel off and just show you all how good it looks. But the blue arms look really good. The hot racing bearing hubs look good too. Whew. A lot of work. I'm working on it since 11 a.m. and I just finished at 10 o'clock. So, yep, that's a lot of work. A lot of work. About 11 hours. But everything is buttoned up nicely. Some hot racing stickers on my new rock and roll body I purchased with all these parts. Figure I don't really want this to be a shelf queen, but since they're discontinuing this truck, I thought I'd do something a little special with it. It does sit on the shelf a lot because I run other trucks a lot harder than this one is, because this is kind of my favorite truck. I just love the E-Revo. I just love to drive it. I don't even really bash it. I just love to drive it. Just love the way it drives. But yeah, pretty cool. I'll get this wheel nut off now that I just hand tight here, but now it's being difficult. Let's slide that off for a second. There we go. Those were a pain.
some of them didn't want to seat very well, and I had to put some elbow grease. Got this really nice Park bike tool Allen wrench set that's comes really handy for stuff like that. I think I already put it away, but yeah. Very sharp. Very sharp indeed. Yep. They look good. New seals are kicking. I did soak them in silicone oil so they're nice and lubed. So that should help for a while. And I just gotta remember to lube them every now and then. They'll last. Actually, the rears, the old rear seals were in good shape. I actually saved those, but I put the new ones on just because I'd already pre-soaked them. So, yep, very happy with how this truck turned out. My radio go. So, steering works. No binding. Everything's working good. Don't really want to hit the throttle yet because I have not tightened things down as far as these wheel nuts. Maybe I'll just pop these off real quick. Like that. There we go. Got a lot of hot racing hop-ups on this truck. He's just sealed the deal, so to speak. I did have a bent tie rod end up in there. I was able to use a hair dryer and heat it up and bend it back into shape, so I didn't need to buy a new one. I still may get the aluminum one, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, looks pretty good. Get that grease moving in there. Do that too because they start to squeak and squeal once you don't do that. So it's nice and smooth. Butter. Alright, well I did dial down I have the app on this thing. It's not powered up right now, but so I got my steering was binding a little bit, so I did make some adjustments. Now we're good to go. The steering was doing some binding, but we're good to go now. I still may make some adjustments, but I guess that's good enough for now. Anyway. Alright, before I forget, I do want to go over a couple more things. These hot racing skid plates are a pain, especially when you have all three of them, technically four counting that one up, this one up front. So basically got to loosen everything. I had to loosen everything back up, and then slowly tighten things down. A little bit here, a little bit there. I finally got this lined up where I could tighten it down. It took a long time. But my new steering looks good. My new steering, aluminum steering. system here. Looking pretty snazzy. Got all my pins lined up in the back here. I don't think I really went over the final button up what I did, but basically I got the top all done. Then on the bottom I just had to put the skid plate back up, and like I was saying before, I had to loosen everything back up and then slowly tighten things down until that wanted to line up, and of course those back there didn't want to line up, so I had to loosen everything and then go, and which I knew I probably was going to have to do because I had to do that when I installed the middle aluminum skid plate. If you just have the plastic one, it's not a big deal, but when you put that middle one that's aluminum on there, then your tolerances are really tight. So I'm really digging these blue aluminum arms. They are so cool looking. But yeah, this was a fun build. Very fun. Very happy with how this truck turned out. Alright, as far as the top, everything's buttoned up. All my screws are tightened down. Wheelie bar's back on, that just pops off. Little clip just pops on and off, easy peasy. Servos are in sync, made sure everything was nice, and I had to adjust a link underneath here. I did have to adjust. Let's see if I can just kind of do this here real quick. I had to adjust that link right there. Just had to bring it out 1/2 turn, and then we were good to go. As far as steering was a little bit not quite right, but we're good to go now. So, Beyond the Blue RC, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, subscribe, smash the notification bell. Keep on RCing out there.